Hey guys, Kev here, and I have another blade battle for you. So today, we're going to be doing the battle of the Jack Wolf knives. So we have in the first corner, the Gunslinger Jack. And in the other corner, we have the After Hours Jack. And these are both of the locking knives from Jack Wolf Knives. They both have front flippers, both have fullers, they're both on bearings, but they are actually pretty different. So I thought this would be a good comparison. Now, some things are going to be pretty much tied, but we'll see how this goes, right? The way this works is I have a scoring sheet. I have categories: materials, price, perceived value, aesthetics, ergos, cutting, carry, sounds, action, fit and finish, and leftability, which is, well, how well it works left-handed. This is a very subjective video. This is my opinion only. If you love the knife that loses, that's perfectly fine, and I'm happy that you love it. I love both of these knives. And it's just for fun. So keep that in mind, all right? You get a point for each category you win, or if they tie, I'll just give them zeros for those, and then whoever has the highest score at the end wins, basically, and that's pretty much how we do this. I do a little introduction of the knives. This is the After Hours Jack from Jack Wolf Knives. This was their latest locking knife release. And it's basically a locking version of their Midnight Jack. This is the Gunslinger Jack, their first release of a locking knife. And this came out around Blade Show last year, was a smash success, which led to the After Hours Jack coming to life pretty quickly. So you basically have that to thank for that, right? Anyway, that is how it rolls. Jack Wolf Knives is a fantastic company run by my buddy Ben Belkin. I've known Ben for a couple years now. Great dude, great company. He's doing really cool stuff in the knife world, and you guys should check him out. If these are available anywhere, I'll link them down below. As usual, any of those links that you use do help the channel, which is awesome, and I appreciate that. So let's get into it. Materials. So this one's going to be, I think, an absolute just tie across the board because we have titanium, we have purple haze fat carbon, we have purple anode titaniums, I almost said spring, backspacer and clip, and then we have a S90V blade, hollow ground, full height hollow. On this one, we have titanium, purple haze fat carbon, purple anode clip and backspacer, and a full height hollow S90V. There's really no way to discern one being better in materials, so that is for sure a tie. Hopefully we don't end in a tie, but we'll see. Here's another one. Price. Now, I will be 100% honest with you. For me, the price for both of these was $0. Ben gave me these knives for review. Now, actually, yeah, this is the one they gave me for review. I did buy another one of these, I think a blue one, and I did end up giving that away or selling it. I can't remember which, but this was a review sample, and so was this. So, that being said, the actual price on these retail were $350, and that was the same for both. So again, we're sitting at a tie. In the perceived value category, I think this is an interesting topic. I am not honed in on the secondary market as much as I used to be. I believe you can get certain after hours jacks now still retail. I believe the Gunslinger Jack sold out pretty damn quickly, and it's probably the most sought after Jack Wolf in terms of people hitting him up and asking for more. Now, I don't know if that has calmed down since the After Hours released. Maybe they just wanted more locking Jack Wolves, but it's possible they love this design specifically and they just want more of these. So I think the perceived value is a little higher on the Gunslinger. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to give a point to the Gunslinger on this one. Aesthetics. So this is a very subjective category, as is pretty much all of these. And while I love the Gunslinger Jack aesthetic, I love the gun stock, I love the, the way the clip point looks, I don't personally love a clip point blade that much in use, so it kind of makes me not like it aesthetically too. It's kind of a weird thing to say, but I mean, it's cool. It doesn't have a crazy rhino's horn or anything. It's definitely a sweet looking knife, but I am just a sheep's foot whore. We all know this. Excuse me. And I absolutely adore the Midnight Jack pattern. And this essentially is a blown up Midnight Jack. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and give that to the After Hours. Sorry, keep wanting to say Midnight. Ergos. So this is another one that is tough because the gun stock pattern has a very interesting ergonomic feel. You have a thicker area back here and then a thinner one here. And where initially, before I ever handled a gun stock back a couple years ago, I thought it would be uncomfortable. You look at it, if you never handle one, you're like, yeah. But because it's thicker back here, taller, I should say, your smaller fingers get a better grip, and then your bigger fingers get more area to wrap around up here. And it just feels really comfortable in the hand. Now, the After Hours has a more neutral handle across the board, and I think personally, I just like that better. I choke up. I can get right up on the blade. I can do that here as well. But, you got to kind of put your fingers in the right place and everything like that. So if I have to choose, I'm going to choose the After Hours. Cutting. So this is an interesting category. And you guys will notice when I do these battles, I say interesting so many damn times because it's hard. It's a really tough thing for me to sit here and tell you what I like better about two knives I love. You know what I mean? I'm just cleaning the oil stuff off of the tang there. So, cutting. Personally, I absolutely love a sheep's foot blade. I get to have utility cuts. I can cut packages open easier. I can do all of that better, right? I have that straight edge. I feel like I can slice cardboard really well with that. I will admit that this one came with a bald spot, sort of a not very sharp spot up here. But it still cut excellently. I stropped it and it was fine. And then I sent it off for professional sharpening. So this has a screaming edge on it from Corey Dunlap. Which, by the way, if you need sharpening services, look up Corey Dunlap on Google. Just look up Corey Dunlap Sharpening. He has a mail-in service. So you literally don't have to hit him up or anything, which I think a lot of times is what deters people from doing things. If my wife is any indication, some people just don't want to make a phone call. You can just go to his website and you go to mail-in sharpening. The address is there. He just moved, so make sure you see the address there. And then you literally just pay for your order, which includes shipping back to you, the price. So then it's like $15 or something and maybe $5 for shipping. I can't remember. And then you ship it on your dime to that address. He sharpens it literally in a day, day and a half, and ships it back to you. You don't have to talk to him or anything. You can just put order notes in there if you want something specific. And he is a professional sharpener. Trust me. Excellent. Now, that said, the Gunslinger Jack has one of the thinnest grinds on a knife ever. The original sharpshooters, which is what this is based off of, I mean, you could literally, I can do it now. You can bend and flex these blades because they're so flippin' thin, full height hollow grind. So if you're looking for the sliciest knife you can get, the Gunslinger is the one, right? Now, personally, though, I care more about that tip being low. I care more about cutting into boxes because I'm an Amazon warrior. So, for me, the after hours wins. But I could totally see why the Gunslinger would win for someone else, if that makes sense. Carry. So they both carry excellent. They both have great clips. It's the same clip. I never noticed. Is that on an angle or is it loose? Uh-oh. Oh, man. That sucks because I got to take the whole knife apart to tighten that. Damn it. I can't get to it from... I can't get to it, can I? I didn't even notice that. Look at that. Does this do that? Yeah. It wiggles. So I wonder if it's either not tight or if the clip design just doesn't stay in the spot. That sucks. I'm sure I can just tighten it, but anyway, I'm not gonna harp on that too long because I'll sit here for an hour and take it apart and all that shit. Just do the video, forget about it, and move on. Anyway, the clips work fantastically. So it's really hard to say that one carries better than the other. You would think that maybe the Gunslinger would be better because it's not a tall blade, where this has that hump that sticks out. But I've carried this one a lot, man, and it just disappears in my pocket. So if I was going to give it to anybody, I would give it to the After Hours. But I think it's a tie because it's kind of hard to, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to give it a tie. You also have more of a point on the flipper here and less so on this one, which is probably a little better in pocket. So I'm going to give it to the After Hours just because I want to. The sounds. So this is interesting. They both sound good. But that crazy thin hollow grind on this knife has a distinct sound. I mean, it just freaking pops. I don't know. Well, I do know what it is. It's that hollow grind, but just listen. It rings when it closes sometimes. It just has amazing acoustics. So, definitely going to the Gunslinger on that one. Action. So, this is another tough category. The deployment on the Gunslinger is better. The reverse flick is better because you have a lighter blade. Even with the same detent, it just has more pop because of the lighter blade, right? It feels stronger. But the closing action, I got it tuned to drop to my nail, but then you're shaking, right? It's not bad or anything. It's just not like guillotining close because it's such a light blade. It does the opposite. This one has a heavier blade, especially out here. So the same detent can feel a little weaker, but on closing, it wants to just swing down and take your finger off. So it's kind of like, what do you like better, right? I would say I much prefer the reverse flick on the Slinger. It just feels better. Left-handed, the Gunslinger is better because on the After Hours here, you have a lot more lock bar exposed. So it's easy for me to accidentally come in here and then lock it up or cause issues. Where this has just such a small piece of lock bar, I'm just not going to do that. And that stronger detent feel just feels great to me. Now the front flipper, I actually like better on the After Hours. I like that tab a little better. It doesn't have that pokey top to it. So I'm not like worried about missing and then scratching the shit out of myself. That happens with this one. Neither of them is executed the way I like. I would prefer both of these to be jimped up and over. So have a jimp here, right up and around. A la the Paramore here. You see how that jimping comes up, goes around, so your finger just follows that around. It just feels amazing. The reach around is just so much easier. So on these, it's a little, you gotta make sure you grip all the way up and around. It's just not as satisfying to do that. You really don't want to do rollbacks, because you'll just flip off of those. They tend to be sharp, especially this one that's pokier. So, I don't know. It's a difficult task to choose which one I think the action is better on, because you have better closing, better opening, better front flipper. I think I would probably... I think I'm going to give it to the Gunslinger, actually. Because that flick, man, it just is satisfying. Now, part of it is the acoustic, but it definitely has that stronger feel. So, I'm going to go Slinger on that one. Fit and finished. So, both of these have good fit and finish. They're obviously very, very similar. So, very, very tough to make a choice between these. I mean, what would the fit and finish be? I guess I could say I still have the factory edge on here, and it is excellent. Where on the After Hours, I had to get it sharpened because it didn't come perfectly sharpened from factory. So, I'll give it to the Gunslinger for that. And then the last one is leftability, and I already answered that one. The Gunslinger has a better left hand feel. I mean, I don't have to worry as much about the lock bar. I mean, I know in this video I put pressure on this and been able to flick it, but in real life I've bound it up. I've had times where I couldn't flick it because my finger was in the wrong place left-handed. So I think the Gunslinger is just that much better left-handed because it doesn't have that exposed portion there. So I did not expect this, because I would say personally, I definitely think the After Hours would win. It's definitely my preferred design aesthetically. It's the one I've carried more. It's definitely the one that I like better. I love both, but I like this one better. But it seems like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Gunslinger, and 1, 2, 3, 4 for the After Hours. The Gunslinger wins the Battle of the Wolves. What would you call that? A wolf-off? A wolf duel? I don't know what you would call it. Wolfing around? The Gunslinger wins. But I like that one better. It's funny how that happens, right? I feel like I need to take these apart now and check on the clips, see what's going on there. Really don't want to because of the whole pivot situation, but I think I'm going to do it because I have OCD. This one I'll probably leave alone because it's just a little bit. But yeah. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Who do you think wins this one? Which one's your favorite? Which one do you have? Do you want? Please let me know. And again, check the links down below. Helps your brother out when you use them. Check out the newest Jack Wolf release. It's actually the slip joint little brother of this, the Midnight Jack, that's dropping. And it's going to be, I think, February 16th, if I got that right, will be the drop on that. So definitely stay tuned for that. That's a great knife. Can't wait to check out the crazy-ass chaotic resin one. And yeah, I love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.